So this is my privilege to welcome all of you at this special meeting. And I would like to welcome our honorable guest, the founding director of the Prager University, Mr. Denis Prager. We welcome you. The chairman of the European Jewish Association, Rabbi Menachem Margolin, our friend. We welcome you. Thank you for coming. The co-founder of Shema Institute, Mrs. Ruth Descalopoulou, very difficult name, we welcome you, thank you very much. And especially with your organizing a share of this conference. The State Secretary of Civil and Social Affairs of Hungary and Director of Hungary, we welcome you. I hope all of you got this special list. Do you have them? Do you have these? Okay. Because this is so well organized, so we have these photographs and all the names on the paper. So we welcome you. And our director of the Salux non-governmental organization, Mr. Johannes de Jong. We welcome you. My dear friends, I know that all of you are eagerly expect the content of this conference. So let me start by a couple of words. When Alexander Solzhenitsyn, in his famous book, The Gulag Archipelago, translated into many languages, probably all of our languages, we are from the nation, from which nations we come here. He describes the intriguing techniques of arresting people, and he wonders over surprising phenomena. People arrested by the state service barely resist. They did not oppose, no shouting, no screaming. In many cases, they even followed instructions of their persecutors and kept quiet. It almost looked like they conformed to the regime in this breaking point of their life. And Solzhenitsyn, who himself was arrested and failed short of any resistance, offers several explanations. Innocent people, who constitute majority of arrested ones, were simply shocked. They saw captions almost on a daily basis, but they merely refused to believe that this could happen to them. If you read the book, there were sometimes described situations like somebody not knocking, but bashing the doors on some other levels of the housing flat, and nobody just went out to see what's happened because they knew what is going on there. They didn't want to be involved. They were so afraid they rather kept themselves behind the doors. So they simply choose not to believe this can happen to me and to my family. Others felt ashamed, and thus, when the moment of arrest came, they did not want their neighbors or fellow citizens in the street to see this disturbing scene. Others, and Solzhenitsyn was one of them, still waited for the right moment. There were not enough people for this testimony, they thought. What difference does it make if 200 or 2 times 200 people witness this? Solzhenitsyn may be hard on himself and all the victims of the monstrous Soviet regime, but one obvious lesson shines above all. The freedom is not for granted. We can be stripped of it easily, rapidly, shockingly. Freedom that was costly won yesterday can be quickly lost in tomorrow's battle. So it is never too late, this is never too early to start shouting out loud, and also never too late to do that. The influence of the social media is our society's blessing and curse at the same time. We need to be smart and use its potential to reach to ignorant people who are fed just by the mainstream narrative, often undermining and mocking conservative values. And we see this so often, so many times nowadays. Unlike poor citizens of USSR, we shall rather not keep quiet when the freedom of speech, freedom of press, and freedom of religion is seriously attacked. Tomorrow might be too late. Too late. The mainstream media has a habit of shaming everyone with an opposing opinion. Regrettably, even in this House, we have seen stories of people who were treated as second class just because they believe life has to be protected from the conception till the natural death. That marriage means one man and one woman. That the state of Israel has a right to exist and defend itself. Bible teaches us that our enemy, I mean evil, is using humiliation as a primary mean of gouging us. We need to remind ourselves the words, fear not. That is our strongest weapon. And that means speak out. Don't be ashamed. Ladies and gentlemen, this gathering of people believing in free society, in honorable exchange of opposing views, in respect for your political rival, is a proof we are not alone. Make friends and encourage each other. Share your stories. It took several decades for the Soviet Union to cease its existence, but it fell. Nevertheless, it was by the bravery of the few by which the regime fell, and we can enjoy freedom. And I say this as a member of a former Soviet Union satellite state, Slovakia. Nowadays, more than ever, the threat of totalitarian thinking is coming also from the West, from the very cradle of democracy and freedom. So let us recognize this threat, speaking out, and offer an alternative. Welcome to this conference.
Okay, so I'm the moderator today. I'm the organizer. My name is Ruth Daskalopoulou Isaac. Thank you all for coming, especially the Hungarian Embassy. It is an honor to have you. And thank you for kindly bringing your State Secretary. I'm just going to say quickly that we are live. The link is on SEMA Facebook page, and then you can retweet it from there. And if anyone needs any more information, maybe they can just write there directly. I want to start by saying that freedom of speech, the reason why I decided to organize this event, I personally, I'm sure my guests here, all of you know that we are saying that Europe without the Jews is not Europe. But I also think that Europe without freedom of speech is not Europe. And unfortunately, we see more and more censorship or more and more attacks on freedom of speech and also freedom on religion. And yesterday I had a conversation with somebody that he opposes my views, but he said to me that I have to say that the one place where I saw freedom of religion, that was at the Western Wall, because I can see that the Jewish people really respect freedom of religion and they allow anybody to go and pray at the Western Wall, whilst on the top of the mountain, that's not the case necessarily. And I said, yes, that's right. And then he's somebody that opposes my views and opposes my support for Israel. He said to me, it's true, freedom of religion must have started with the Jewish faith. So I thought that was very sweet to be coming from him. So, so this event is about freedom, and unfortunately we had a lot of non-freedom voices, and we had a lot of opposition towards this event. And I just think that this shows where we are today in Europe.